there, everybody. Groovy here, coming at you from the Grindhouse. And today we're talking about the newest entry in the Yautja Boy film franchise. Today, we're talking about Predator 5, or as it likes to refer to itself as, Predator. But we can just call it Prey. Now, Prey is a film that's directed by Dan Trachtenberg and stars Amber Midthunder as Naru and Dakota Beavers as her brother Tabe. And they're both members of the Comanche Nation some circa 300 years ago, as they encounter one of the first big bad Yautjas to set foot on this blue planet that we call Earth and do a little out-of-season hunting. Now, what did I think of this movie? Overall, I thought that this movie was fan-frickin-tastic. I did really enjoy it. It's just as good as the first two films in the franchise. It doesn't really have that dip in quality as the Predator sequels following Predator 2 did. Not quite as good as the first Predator movie, but also the cast in this isn't as strong as the supporting cast in Predator 2, which I think ultimately helps keep Predator 2 a little bit ahead of it in terms of overall quality. But all in all, I did really enjoy this movie. I thought it was great. I was a little bit worried from watching those first previews that there was going to maybe a little bit of pandering in it, and that everyone was going to be telling Naru that you can't hunt, you're a girl. But that's not really what this movie is about. This movie is really all about Naru proving herself. The reason why people don't think that Naru can hunt isn't because she's a woman. It's because of the fact that, again, she hasn't proven how capable of a hunter she really is, even though she does have the support of her brother, who is next in line to be the tribe's war chief. And there are some antagonizing characters that do some antagonistic shit and maybe kind of look down on her a little bit, but it wasn't super overt. And she still was a lot smarter than those two pricks, and she got a couple good shots in too as well in that fist fight that they got themselves caught up in, right? I did appreciate how this movie does start on a little bit of the slower side. It does kind of bring you into Naru's life and kind of show you what she's up to. And it already kind of sets her up as someone who's definitely has skills in not just hunting, but also medicine, which does factor into the movie as we get further into the plot. But I did also appreciate the fact that when we start to get elements of the Predator popping in, that the Predator seems to kind of almost work its way up the food chain, starting with just kind of observing maybe rabbits, then snakes, then wolves, then bears, then Comanches, then maybe some white fur traders as well. I mean, we are going to get into spoiler territory. There are some French fur traders, I believe they are, that are in here and killing buffalo and stuff like that, and they become the targets of the Predator when they actually capture Naru while the hunter Predator has been stalking her. Now, Amber Midthunder was absolutely great in this movie. She carried the entire film. Like, if she didn't come across as a smart and capable survivor, then this movie would have just been laughable. But the fact that she was able to pull that weight along with it, she really helped make this movie into something a little bit elevated above what it really could have been had she didn't have that strong of a performance. Unfortunately, I would have to say, because of how much of a focus was on Naru in this, like I said, as opposed to something like Predator 2, the cast does seem to be a little bit smaller and a lot more focused. But much like my comments about Predators in the trailer reaction video, because of the fact that it does focus more on just one character as opposed to a whole team of characters, it does kind of move itself away from the formula of the first Predator movie and also Predators, but also in a really good and interesting way. I thought this movie was fantastic. The only real negatives I have to say about this movie is there is some spotty CGI here and there. It's mostly with CGI animals and people interacting with the CGI animals. And I would have liked to gotten a little bit better of a look at the Predator before they started to just dismember that fucker. But all in all, I did really enjoy this movie. I thought it was great. There were some kind of silly elements to it where I thought that, okay, foot in a bear trap. That's probably going to totally break this girl's leg, right? Especially when you consider the Predator steps on the bear trap and it does a good amount of damage to him. And also the Predator takes one of the bear traps and throws it onto the face of one of these traders. and it pretty much crushes its fucking face in. So I was just like, ugh, starting to wear the plot armor a little bit on your sleeve there, Naru. But if that's one of the bigger things that I can gripe about in this movie, I don't really think that that's too much to complain about, right? I would also like to say that I did appreciate how when they were hunting the mountain lion at the beginning of the film, Naru got taken out by the mountain lion, right? But her brother Tabe was able to bring her back and did ultimately go back out and kill the mountain lion and become the new war chief of their tribe. And he told her that it was only because she had already wounded it that he was able to take it out. And also, he did have to use the plan that she developed to actually capture and kill the fucker, right? And when we get to the end of the movie, subtly, one of the reasons why I think that she really was able to kill that predator was her brother definitely put a fucking dent in this bad boy before he got dropped, right? I mean, her brother did spear this motherfucker pretty damn good, man, and I was like, that is some green glow-in-the-dark blood splay right there. But I thought that that was kind of subtle, because while she did kind of take him down by herself, the whole takedown of the predator was not something that was done single-handedly. And I thought that was a kind of a nice kind of subtle parallel with the events of that as well, when she comes back and brings her own trophy that her brother, who did not make it through the hunt, did actually help her along with. And hey man, I'm always a sucker for stories about brothers. All in all, I did really dig this movie. I thought it was fantastic. The acting in it was really good. Unfortunately, like I said, the majority of the screen time was given to Amber Midthunder's character because she was carrying this whole film. It's her story. But I would have liked to get a little bit more into maybe some of the other characters. We get a little bit more flavor for them, see exactly what's going on with the tribe. That might have been nice as well. Or maybe get a little bit more insight into what the fur traders were up to. Maybe see exactly what their motivations were. Maybe see them actually capture her brother, which does happen at one point in the film. Though I guess I did think it was a little bit silly that at that point in the film, Naru does realize that the predator won't attack her if she's not actively trying to attack it, if it doesn't perceive her as a threat, right? And instead of using that knowledge to her survival and just standing down, she's more concerned with taking the predator out and proving herself, which does kind of ultimately lead to the death of her brother in a way, right? And I did think that was a little bit silly as well, but all in all, not too bad. I did really enjoy this movie. I thought it was fantastic. I recommend it for at least one viewing if you're a fan of the franchise. And I did think it was interesting that after reading some interviews with Dan Trachtenberg, that they were fully intending for a theatrical release with this film. But the studio heads over at Hulu thought that it might not be a bad idea to have it premiere on Hulu so that they could prove that they can do big budget action originals just like they can in the theaters on their streaming service, because they had to prove themselves. Kind of like Naru, who had to prove herself in this film. And I know that's not really a direct parallel, but hey, when I kind of read it, it made me chuckle a little bit as well. But what did you guys think of this movie? Was it worth your time? Was it a worthy sequel to The Predator? Is it the best of the Predator sequels? Is this your least liked Predator sequel? Sound off in the comments section and let me know. I definitely want to hear from you. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be back talking about some more movies soon. Stay safe, stay classy, but most of all, stay groovy, people. We outie. Bye-bye.